What's up guys, Mike here with Cards Sports Cards. I've done videos about how to buy inventory for your eBay store. I've done videos about how to price your cards in your eBay store. And I've shared a lot of other insights in my various videos for how to sell sports cards on eBay. Today I want to share 6 tips to help save you hours listing cards on eBay. So let's jump in. Before we do, if you want to unlock the secrets of selling and investing in low-end sports cards on eBay, this channel is your go-to source for expert tips, honest insights, and strategies to help boost your eBay sales. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button for me if you want to stay ahead in the card selling game, maximize your profits, and take your eBay card selling business to the next level. You can also check out my other channel at Puck Mike, where I open and talk about hockey cards. Okay, tip number 1, have a plan or strategy. Now, this doesn't have to be some grand, elaborate scheme, or it doesn't mean that you have to have your business plan all worked out. You might still be trying new things, figuring out what works, what doesn't, and that's okay. Nor does this mean you have to have been selling for any specific period of time. What I do mean by this is that you have to have the smallest inkling of an idea of what you're going to sell, how you're going to sell it, and for how much. Again, it does not mean you have to have all of this mapped out before you start listing or all of your cards comped before you start listing. It just has to start with some type of idea. If your goal is quite literally, well, I don't have a plan, I just want to start listing 5 cards a week and see what happens. Well, guess what? That's actually a plan, and that's exactly the type of thing that I'm talking about right here. Or maybe the plan is, I bought this collection at a garage sale, and I've always wondered if I could sell these cards on eBay. I'm going to list the best 100 cards for $1.99 each on eBay and see what happens. Guess what? That's a plan. All you need here is one single starting place, not an elaborate scheme. If you don't have at least some type of starting place here, even if it's small, you're going to end up feeling lost. Find your vision, name it, no matter how small, and that's your starting place. That's your plan. Tip number 2 is organize your cards. Now, there could be a million different ways that you can do this. Some people organize their cards by set and year. Some people organize their cards by number, name, or both. Some people organize by set, year, number, name, or number, set, year, name. Now, I'm not talking about organizing cards that you've already listed. I'm talking about organizing before you even list the cards. It does not have to be perfect here, but if you've bought more than 2 collections, you know how quickly things can get out of hand. There's a box here, there's a box there. Wait, this box is for Goodwill. Wait, did I put the cards that I was going to send for grading to Goodwill? Wait, which ones was I going to list again? Having even a general or broad process will save you a ton of time when you're going to list cards on eBay. If you have to go through 5 boxes every time you're ready to list cards on eBay just to find what you want to list next, you're not going to be able to keep up. What I do when I first buy a collection is I actually go through it card by card. Number 1, because that's actually the funnest part, right? But in that first pass, I usually take out the ones I know I'm going to send to Goodwill. Then I usually set aside some that I know are ready for listing, and then I might also set aside some for grading. That might not be my final review that I'm ever going to go through that collection, but at least in that first intake, I separate some of the cards in different buckets. And once I have those ready to list cards, I put them in the area, which I'll show you in a little bit, where I list my cards in a pile or a box. This way I always keep a box of running inventory of ready to list cards, and I don't have to go find cards to list every time I'm ready to list cards on eBay. Now look, that doesn't mean that things can't evolve and that you can't say, you know what, I remember seeing some cool cards in that collection that I didn't set aside. I'm actually going to go through that collection a little bit and try to find those cards and list those on eBay tonight. But at the very least, you have to have some basic organization of your collections, ready to list cards, marked with the SKU or whatever type of numbering system that you use. And keep those in a pile or a box somewhere that you know are ready to list, so that when inspiration strikes, you're ready to list those cards. Think of it as, you're the intake team that reviews the collection when it first comes in, and then you take the cards that are ready for listing and you move those on to the listing team so that they have cards ready to list when it's time. Hey, isn't wearing many hats fun when you're running your own business? Okay, tip number 3 will be a natural result of tip number 2, and that is to set up your workspace for efficiency. Now, I don't mean you need to draw a diagram and do test runs of you, timing yourself, trying to list cards to see which method is faster. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Yes! Although that might actually be kind of fun. Let me show you my sports card warehouse over here to give you an example. I'm switching to the phone here for this part of the video in my sports card warehouse, aka the small little closet off of my office where I was just recording. This is where I keep all of my cards. This is what I'm talking talking about when I'm talking about your office space, organizing your space, and having it set up for efficiency. Okay, so right here, I sit in this chair. Here are my ready to list cards that I've already done that intake process on. I have everything I need right here, just sitting in this chair. I have penny sleeves, I have top loaders, I have the team bags. I even have these little things that I put in each card, telling people to check me out on YouTube. I have my scanner, I have my printer. I have a little trash thing hanging down right here. And this is all of my inventory right here. This is where I put all my cards. So I can scan cards in right here, list them right here, put them away right here. I can ship cards from here. I can pull them from here, print the label, and that's it. And I also have all of my other supplies right here, just right over here. So if I run out of those penny sleeves, I can go right over here and I can grab them. If I need more envelopes, I can go right here and I can grab them when I print on them. I have all of that stuff just right over here. And then I also have this cabinet down here. This is where I have some more cards and collections that I've filtered through. I have some other supplies as well. But again, it's all just in this very small space. And this is actually fairly scalable. All of these cards right here, and then this little thing right here, I mean, that's about maybe 4,000 or 5,000 cards. I have just over 4,000 listings, but some of the listings are variation listings with a lot of cards. So we'll say maybe it's between 4,000 or 5,000 cards. So I still have this section right here. I could fit another one here, and this one, and two of these that are pretty much empty. I can fit a lot more cards. And what I'm planning to do is actually put some kind of shelf thing right here and take this door away and put some kind of sliding door. So if 4,000 or 5,000 cards is just in these two, you add in those ones at the bottom, what's that another? 2,000 or 3,000? That's about what, 6,000, 7,000 cards? That's just one stack. Right in this section, I could fit 1, 2, maybe 3 stacks. That's just up to here. I can still go up higher. I still have all of this space up top if I wanted to put some shelves up there, which I'll probably do at some point. You know, I'm not trying to get to like 1,000,000 cards. I'm not trying to be Burbank Sports Cards in California. This is what I'm talking about. You don't have to have this massive space. You just have whatever space works for you based on whatever your goals are. Some people can't do all this right in this one space. I get that. Sometimes you have to have the cards separately, and eventually maybe you do outgrow where you are. But keep as much stuff close to you as you can, because it'll make things so much more efficient in terms of listing and packing. So this is what I mean by setting it up for efficiency. You know, a lot of people by default put their cards, their inventory away from their desk, so that when they go to list cards or that when they sell cards, they have to go to the computer, and if they don't have a laptop, they have to go to the computer, go to the inventory, pull the card, go back to the computer, or if they have a laptop, they have to take it with them, set it somewhere. You're juggling the cards, the laptop. Now, obviously, you can't have it all in one place if you get a larger amount of inventory or if your space doesn't allow for it, and that's totally fine. But the main point here is think of it in terms of what works for you, not what the norms are. You're running a sports card business likely out of your house. That's unique, and your workspace should reflect that as well. Okay, tip number 4, have a process or a system. Now, this is a little bit different from the organization and workspace prep that we would have already done. When I sit down in that chair to list cards, I pick the cards from the ready to list pile. I put new penny sleeves on each one. I organize alphabetically because it helps make the sorting easier later on. Sometimes if I have cards from different collections with different SKUs here, I might skip this step and sort them later. But either way, then I scan the cards, review the images, upload to eBay to use the photo upload listing generation tool, which I'll talk about in a minute. I finish the listing and then I put the cards away. Now, you don't have to use that specific system, but the main point, your system at this stage for listing and stocking inventory should fit all together with the previous steps. For example, maybe you don't want to put penny sleeves on at this stage. Maybe you want to put penny sleeves on when you're intaking the cards and you put the penny sleeves on in the ready to list pile. That's totally fine. Maybe you don't use a scanner and you don't penny sleeve until you actually sale or ship the card. That's totally fine as well. Or maybe you have some other way where you scan the cards in by collection and you have a way to keep those organized so that you could look back at them when listing if you need to. That's fine too. Maybe you upload and generate the listing information on a spreadsheet for bulk upload, and then you actually put the cards away and you don't need to look at them again before you list them. Me, I like to reference the cards in hand as I list them because number one, I like to reevaluate the condition one more time before I list them. And number two, sometimes the listing generation tool is not always correct. So I go through each card to make sure it's identified the card correctly, or in cases it doesn't identify a card at all, or I need to look at the card and hand put the information in manually. But regardless, make sure the system here is focused on your listing and stocking process, not your intake process. It can all become very convoluted very quickly, and you can very, very quickly become overwhelmed. Okay, tip number 5 is use a tool if you need one. I have spoken extensively in some of my past videos on how you can list cards on eBay without using a tool like Card Dealer Pro. And if you're not listing more than a few cards a day, it still might not make sense for you. Once you reach a certain point, maybe 10 or more cards a day, or maybe 5 or 6 or 7 more cards a day, I do think that a tool can be helpful, but only the right tool. With at least a basic store subscription, eBay will generate listings from photos for you. It's basically like its own little Card Dealer Pro right inside of eBay. If you want to know how to do that, you can check out my video here. I've tried Card Dealer Pro a few times and the eBay tool is way better in my opinion. Now the eBay tool is not 100% accurate and I still check each card that I scanned individually, but I've gotten into a really good rhythm and it has helped my process and efficiency immensely. But again, only if you need one in this step. Don't do it for the sake of, well, this is just what you do to be legit, right? Only if you need a tool and it makes sense for you and it will help your efficiency, do you need to get one? And if the answer is yes, try a few and see which one works for you. Okay, and the last tip here is to stay consistent. This is probably going to be the hardest for you out of all of the other things that I've mentioned. Now, most of you watching are probably not selling sports cards full time. So with a day job, maybe kids, how do you find the time to stay consistent? This is where all of these tips come full circle because your vision, your starting place, step number 1, has to fit into your life right now and not make things more complicated. If it feels like a drag, you need to scale it back. It doesn't mean it's not going to be a grind, but if you're dying inside listing 5 cards a day, working 2 jobs, falling asleep at 8 p.m., 5 cards a day is too many cards. I am a big believer that you can grow a sports card business slowly and profitably. It does not have to be done overnight. It's not fast volume that wins. It's slow consistency that helps you build to an organized, process-based business that helps you stay in the game for the long haul. This will fluctuate. Let it. If you have extra time suddenly, maybe you got laid off, start listing 20 cards a day until you find a new job. Maybe you have to pick up that extra shift for the next 2 months. Scale it back to just 2 cards a day. But keep listing and buying even the smallest collection or just a few single cards here and there. Stay in the game in the smallest manner if you want to. Look, sometimes taking a break is what fits. Sports cards are not going away. The GOATs now will be replaced by new ones later with new cards to chase. So it's okay to play the long game and make these tips work for you wherever you are in your life and your business. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you want to unlock the secrets of selling and investing low-end sports cards on eBay, this channel is your go-to source for expert tips, honest insights, and strategies to help boost your eBay sales. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button for me if you want to stay ahead in the card selling game, maximize your profits, and take your eBay card selling business to the next level. You can also check out my other channel at Puck Mike, where I open and talk about hockey cards. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.